welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining today. I wanted to do a little bit of something special here in Coxton. Sorry about the lag a bit. My computer struggles here and there, but got my details turned down considerably to try to help save my processor a bit. But we've got this oil train that we have kept here in Coxton Yard forever. And I've been wanting to figure out for a while how best to model the loading and unloading of this train. So the idea currently has been that it gets loaded here in Coxton and from the port, and then it gets shipped up north off map to a refinery. And the problem with this is that its terminal currently in the port only takes 20 cars at a time. You can see there's 20 cars right down here. And so if I were to do it in stages, it would take, 3 or 4, maybe sometimes even possibly 5 runs of the port job to get the train done just even once. And I just decided I didn't really like that. So I figured today I would make some changes to the terminal here in order to accommodate getting the entire train actually down into this area. So this yard has been here. I haven't shown any operations here on the lower part of the port, but this yard has been here. It just kind of helps the local, get around his cars to work these different industries here. But I think what I'd like to do is get another yard behind the terminal, back here where I have some open space, aka we're going to clear some open space, and put a small yard in there where I can have the entire train terminate. I think that's going to be the move forward that we need to make. So we will get to that in just a second. I think that will allow me to simulate that, the whole train terminates here, and then, they can have like a track mobile or something that moves the cars around into the yard and whatnot, and then they can be quote unquote, loaded and unloaded. So, although really they'd only be loaded here, and then they'd be shipped out north. So I think that's how I want to do it. I did go ahead also to provide a bit of switching space. I added this little tail right here because in the past, to switch this yard, you'd have to move these cars, but you were going to move these cars anyways in the past, and so it worked out well. But I've changed my mind now. We're not going to do it that way anymore, so I needed a lead to allow me to switch this yard over here and the grain industry without actually interfering with the oil terminal. And obviously there are some other details to add down in this area. I haven't done the finer details, but I've got all the main stuff placed in. And then, yeah, I also, since this is a long runaround right here, I went ahead also and gave it the opportunity to be a little bit shorter for 2 reasons. One, that allows to use this lead here to help switch these tracks if we need to. But also, too, it allows the locomotives, if they need to have a little more space, if they have a few more cars with them. So I thought it was a great compromise. But I'm going to go ahead and head over into surveyor mode so that we can get to work on this section. And then what we're going to do is expand the yard down there by making a new one so that we can free up this track in Nick's yard. I am pretty excited about that opportunity because I recently had a scenario where this was incredibly overloaded, and that's actually the next video that's going to come out on the channel. I did finally shoot some film there. It was like 6 hours, and then I've just got to edit it down quite a bit. You guys, I don't think you'd want to watch a 6-hour video, but anyways, I wouldn't either. But yeah, and so that's going to free up another track here just to really serve as like a surplus / empty car or whatever the yardmaster wants kind of track, which I'm excited about. So let's move over to surveyor, and I will catch you guys right over here where we expand on the oil terminal. All right, got my mouse back now, so let's go ahead and get this all straightened out. Awesome. So if I only need to fit 3,000 feet of train, let's see if we can get that covered here. Actually, this I would like to kind of straighten out a little bit more. That's actually pretty rough looking. I mean, in a bit of fairness, yards in real life, they don't really always look very nice. I'm going to be honest. If you've spent any time looking out at yards in the real world, they're not always perfectly symmetrical like this one up here is. They're just not. So, I mean, I don't feel bad about the fact that this one is kind of weird and on a curve. It doesn't really bother me that much, so I'm not going to let it bother me. All right, let's do a quick test of the length here. See if I can fit my 6,000 feet up in there. I just don't know if I'll be able to, but let's see what we can get. So my consist, I've got a 1,500 foot train. We can break that up. Oh, it's not long enough before the switch, my bad. Of course it's not. What about that one? All right, yep, so there's 1,500. Let's get a break on that. Shove it back in there, shove this one a little bit closer. See what we can get. So we gotta get to 3,000, so that's 2 rounds of these guys. That's probably roughly about what you can fit in there, that's fine. Okay, let's place another one and see if we can get it. We shall find out. All right, let's see. Yep, that is going to have to get cut right there. That was an accident. It's all good. All right, it's going to be close. It's going to be close, certainly close, and that's okay. I personally don't think that it's going to make it, but we shall see. I do have a little bit more space that I can take those tracks if I need to. Just good, because I just might. Let's see. I could probably fit 2 more in there. I'll shorten this up a bit. Yeah, that's not bad. And then, did we make it? Oof, man, it's close. Oh, I accidentally shoved it right there. My bad. No wonder it disappeared on me. Okay, so it doesn't fit there. That's okay. Let's take these. Can fit 1 more there. So yeah, we are getting very close. Each of these is 89 feet, so that's not too bad. I could probably fit, let's see, an SD40 I think is 73 feet long, I believe. That would probably not pass for the clearance mark, but yeah, so we're short by really 100 feet. Okay. So let's think for a second. If the whole train's coming in at 3,000 feet, we're probably going to run around it over here because I decided I'll just keep the stub in yard. That's fine with me. So if we run around the train over here and we shove, then what does end up happening is we're going to shove most of the train back. But yeah, sure enough, 20 cars are going to go ahead and get placed right here. That will leave some open space. And you know what? That will be more than enough space. So we can simulate the fact that they will probably store their Trek Mobile right here. You could also store that extra car right here because if you look at this junction gives you access to everything, which does truly make this a runaround. So if we really needed to store a surplus car with a Trek Mobile, you have plenty of space for both. And then you've got all the yard space you need back here. So mission accomplished. I am happy with that. So let's go ahead now and let's get everything cleaned up. We'll come back and do those new Sentry switches here in just a second. Let's get the bumpers that I'm using here. These are technically packaged. They're not payware. They do come with Trainz 19 standard though, so they're always available because they're on the built-in packaged stuff. I think they come with like maybe the Kickstarter set, not sure. But I know for a fact, because I've looked and tested, I know that they are available to everyone, which is good. As long as you have all your built-in and all the content, all the payware content that it comes with. As long as you have all that structured, you're good to go. All right, let's carry out the fence. Awesome. And then get it going right there. That didn't exactly work out like I wanted. Just put those together for a second. That all worked out pretty well. We'll just close it up to the harbor right there. Q button to sever those connections so they'll be straight. And let's see, does that one need to be straight? I would like that one to be straight, yeah. And I would like that one to be straight, but shorter. Yeah, that'll do. Fence-wise, I'm not too picky. Okay, so that keeps us sectioned off. Let's get our Turfex back in. Long grass, we're gonna do not the largest radius of all, but let's get that kind of lined back up there with the tracks. That's an important detail. Let's also line it up over here, just like so. And then now for the short grass. Short grass is important. That's what I put beneath all of my tracks, just like so. When they're sunk in the ground a bit, it does cover them a bit, and that's fine. I'm not really very picky about it. Let's get some wildflowers, get that density down though, and throw some of those literally all over because it's not a big deal. All right, see how that one looks. Yeah, it's fine. This section, it's here and there. It's not a big deal. It's grown over a bit, but that's fine too. All right, and then need to dress up the textures here a little bit. There we go. Don't like seeing any grid, especially in the water line. No, thank you. Perfect. Okay, and then let's get some of these bushes and whatnot added back. Let's do it this way. Perfect. Right there, right there, right there. Turn them a bit. This is where the scrapbook feature in Trainz 22 is, I'm sure, amazing. Someday we will get there. I'm not too worried about it yet. But I am looking forward to the day when I can enjoy that feature. So that day will be in my future. Not urgent. I got a lot of other things I'm working on. The only reason I currently haven't done it now is just the process of transferring over all my files and everything. So I decided to keep track of all my download station stuff that I have because I want to be able to use it all again. I decided that what I would do is create a pick list with all of my assets that I downloaded off the download station. And with that, I would be able to essentially get them all in a pick list that I could export as a CDP. Then I can install that CDP into Trainz 22, and then it will list all of those download station assets as missing assets, but then it will download all of them. And I am very excited to take that path. I think that'll do exactly what I need. Let's see, let's get these guys out of the water. Bushes are great, but not in the water. I'm not too picky about lining the water line. Technically, if you're driving the train, you're not really going to be looking at it from the water line. However, let's get those on there a little bit. Just, cover it up because it's not necessarily very nice looking. All right, perfect. Kind of cover that up a bit. It's believable. It's not a big deal. All right, and then let's get a couple small trees real quick. I know that one's a small tree. Oh, no, not down there. No, thank you. I wanted you right there, actually. And then I think I got some bushes down there still. Yeah, sure enough. Okay, that's all the bushes. All right, for now, that's good. I might come back and polish some things later. But for the time being, this is functional. Functional is what I care about right now. Polishing, there's always a time and place for that. And quite honestly, you could always polish your stuff and never be done. And that's fine. That's fine. But at some point, you've got to say, hey, this is good enough for now. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Because that's an important process or an important point to reach in the design process. Let's get some dirt and gravel here under this. Awesome. And with that, I'll go download myself a nice track mobile off the download station. And we will be good. One last thing here is to get the switches replaced. Let's see, I was using these. These are the new sentries that don't have a target or ballast. We'll have to come back and give these a name. That's fine, no problem. Let's actually put that one on the outside. Outside. Awesome. And that's it. So let's see. What do we want to call this yard? Too bad I don't have it in a live stream right now. I could take your suggestions. Oh well. For now, we'll just call it the terminal yard. That's a really lame name. I'm most certainly going to change that, but we'll call it track 1. That's not track 1. We'll call it the throat, because it is the throat. All right, this is the terminal yard runaround. Come on, spell correctly. It is what it is. Terminal yard. I need to do copy paste. Give me just a second. Got it. Here's tracks 1 to 2. And let's see, this will be tracks 3 to 5. And then this will be 4 and 5. Awesome. I did decide that I might want to consider coming back and just numbering switches, you know, and then referencing that in the operating documents that I'm going to provide. But I'm not sure if I want to make that change. We'll see. Let's call that... no, we'll just get the same name. Yeah, doesn't matter. This is not a control point, so we don't have to label it north and south. Run around. Awesome. Okay, for now, I like this design. I think it gives all the functionality. We can still store 20 tank cars here. We can store a spare car and a track mobile. And then we can store roughly just under 3,000 feet of train here. But that's perfectly fine because we're going to have 20 cars worth, which if they're 45-foot tank cars, when you count the couplers, roughly 46 probably, times 20, that's just under 1,000 feet, I guess, actually. So that's not bad. It's like 920 feet. So, yeah, is that 920? Yeah, it is 920. So, yeah, about a third of it at any point in time, almost a third goes here. So that'll be perfect. I like it. And then that way we can, I'm doing air quotes here, we can have the industry simulate loading and unloading those cars. Don't know if I'm going to change these details anytime soon. I know that's not necessarily what a pumping harbor looks like. I'm really not too worried about it right now. So maybe that'll be one of those lofty things we worry about in a pre-release or post-release version when we're getting closer to that time. So for now, we've got some bigger fish to swallow, or bigger fish to deal with, and greater challenges in front of us. So just a really fast preview in case you're not on my Discord and you haven't seen. We have finished the scenery all the way out to 12 miles now. So here is the town of Luton, a little overview. I did make a short video on refurbishing that town. I think it looks great. I do have wheat, actually, as a TurfX asset. It's awesome. I love it. You should definitely get that. It's on the download station. It's not my asset. I just found it. But yeah, here we go. I've got the farmlands here for the river bottoms. They're all finished up. Definitely flat lands while the railroad is raised up. And then just made it to the canal, but now we have passed the canal. This is one of the first areas on the route I ever made, but I have now refurbished it. New farm scene over here. I think it looks great. And then here, as you round the corner into the Fulton Co-op, what I did was I haven't actually fixed this yet. This is still the next thing I'm going to build on the route here. But I did change up all the farms. So got a creek put in, got a bridge here. Very nice. It's a curved bridge, which they do exist in real life. Replaced the road assets, laid some power lines, lined the entire creek with bushes and trees and shrubs, just like the real thing would have, and then added in some elevation changes and gave the field some variation. So this is now definitely a very complete and excellent looking scene. I definitely love this. Plus, just looking at this part of Arkansas, I'm not trying to be, perfectly accurate to the prototype, but I am trying to reasonably follow the inspiration, and for the most part, they don't have massive, massive fields out here like they do in the Midwest. So they are kind of sectioned off into smaller sections, which I've kind of done here. So, and then of course, power line. You don't plant crops under power line. So an area there that's not planted. I'll probably put a couple shrubs down there. And then, yeah, that's it. I really like it. I think this scene came out really well. Nice little bend in the creek there. Too small to bother planting crops on, so we don't. And then this, of course, is the closest the creek gets to the track, so you can just kind of get a look at it right through here briefly. If you're in cab mode, you may not be able to see it too well unless you turn to the right, but, it's all good. But that will be it today, my friends. Thanks for joining in. It's always fun to have you guys on the channel. Thanks for being the best part of the channel. If you like what you see or you want to stay tuned with this route and its eventual release, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button if you liked what you saw, and I will continue to push out more content on this route. And I will get that operations video done, hopefully here very soon in the next few days. No promises. I don't know what life's going to throw at me, but we shall see. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.